100% virtual participation, or if you wanted to do your own neighborhood walk. Some people are doing gatherings. There's somebody doing a concert. Somebody's doing something at a golf tournament. But the one exciting thing that is bringing us all together and brought us all together this year is having a walk ambassador involved with our event this year. Our walk ambassadors are Don and James Monroe Eigelhart, and we're so pleased to introduce you to one half of our walk ambassador team, James Monroe Eigelhart. James is best known for his Tony and Drama Desk Award-winning performance as the genie in the original Broadway production of Aladdin. He's also been delighting audiences in the role of the Marquis de Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson in the Broadway company of Hamilton. You may also recognize him from TV in his hilarious guest role as Coriolanus Burt in The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and so many others. James joins us tonight from Ireland, where it's very late right now. He is on location shooting a new Disney film, which we'll ask him about in a little bit. James's wife, Dawn, is unable to join us tonight due to unforeseen family circumstances. But James, welcome, and thank you for taking the time to join us tonight.
Please, William, I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much. I am excited and honored to be the ambassador for this year's Walk on America. You guys all look fantastic in your shirts. In my hustle packing to get to another country, I left mine at home. My wife did not hesitate to let me know that. I've been married almost 19 years, and for you husbands out there, you know that moment where you've forgotten something and your wife gives you that look, and you're like, right. Good. I said, cool, I'll still be here live, but I said I'll wear something bright because I have nothing bright out here because it rains a lot out here.
Like you said, James is in Ireland, making a film right now. But yes. James, you found the LRF after Don's diagnosis. Can you share a little bit about that journey and how you came to find LRF?
Well, you know, it was a funny issue. I don't know how everybody else went through it, but for a while, my wife had these symptoms and nobody knew what it was. And we had this special moment going to like a prompt MD, and this young doctor said, hey, you know, let's just do an ultrasound. And that's when they found, you know, the spot, and all of a sudden we went on this long journey. And once she realized it was lymphoma, my wife has been a fighter since she was a kid, and so she was like, look, I don't care what's happening, we're beating this, and we're going to have a story to tell as we do it. And we went on, and as we went, she began to meet other people. You realize that when something like this happens to you, you kind of unbeknownst join this family. And people would walk up to her, ladies walk up to her, go, hey, I've been through this too, I understand. And there's this understanding, there's this family atmosphere of everybody who's saying, we're fighting this together. And there was just this moment where we wanted to give back, you know, and I decided that during the pandemic, I wanted to do a concert, and I knew immediately what I wanted to give back to. And so between Dawn and my friend Jenny Barber, whose husband also is a two-time lymphoma survivor, we found LRF, and I was like, this is the perfect place. And I remember calling some friends and calling you, William, and you were like, you want to what? You want to do a concert? I was like, yes, for you guys, yes, let's do it. You're like, do you know us? I'm like, no, but I love it. I want to read. Let's go. And so
those of you who don't know what we're referring to about the concert, last year, James pulled together top Broadway talent to do a one-night-only concert. I hope a lot of you got to see it, of Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. And it was fun. It was fantastic. Disney and ABC got right behind anything James wanted and needed to do to make it all happen, and raised a lot of money. And it was so fun. And at the time gave everybody the opportunity. Unfortunately, Dr. Brem, no, there is no recording of the concert. It was one night only.
Yeah, that was the one condition that Disney had me do, because, you know, usually it's done by Danny Elfman himself. And this year he was nice enough to let me do it, and also do it in this way to give back. And I was so happy to be able to donate the money to, you know, Lymphoma Research Foundation. And we had some great people in it. There's a new show coming on Stars called Blind Spotting. That was a wonderful film that came out in 2017, starring Raphael Cassell and David Giggs. Raphael played Jack. Tony nominee Adrian Warren was in it. We had Danny Burstein, myself. We had Nick Walker, Leslie Margarita. And if you're going to go to Broadway this year and see Mrs. Doubtfire, we actually had Mrs. Doubtfire. We had Mrs. Doubtfire. Mr. Rob McClure was a part of the cast. So we had a fantastic cast with just some wonderful people involved. And there's nothing like Tim Burton literally saying, yeah, I think this is a great idea. Go ahead. So it was so wonderful. And it also, when my wife was going through that thing, you realize that when your partner's going through something, all you can do is support. She has to fight, but you're there with her supporting. And so this was the one time I felt like I do something to help, not just her, but anybody that was going through something like this.
And it does help by you doing the concert, but also by you lending your celebrity to LRS, and the interviews that you've been able to do for us. James has a couple more coming up.
Yeah.
That'll be one on Monday on WPIX, and then one that NBC is doing that will air later in the summer. About all of the work that all of us are doing together to fight lymphoma and to raise money for much needed research. With the concert that James did, there was a little bit of a background that James and Raphael Cassell, who has had a long running love of the character of Jack Skellington. Yeah. And the two of them have threatened to do this for a long time. When the opportunity came about, I also know that you guys also have something going with some other musical numbers that you both are very excited about. We hope that you'll consider doing something with that. I noticed the little heat miser, cold miser thing on Instagram between the two of you guys. We'd love to know.
That'd be cool.
And see more. Maybe see another project at some time. But James, before we let you go, it's very, very late there, and we appreciate you're here. James is in Ireland making a new Disney film. Yes. It is a Disenchanted 2. Yes. And any little gossip you can give us from the set, anything about the movie, anything fun that you'd like to share?
Well, I don't know if you guys know this term, but there's a term in the industry, especially since I've been working with Disney a long time, that I can't say too much because the mouse has ears and they hear. So, but I will say this. If you saw the movie Enchanted was like a love story. It was like a love letter to the Disney, the Disney princesses and the Disney stories, but it also kind of turned it on its head. So before there was an Elsa and, she didn't need a man in her life, there was Enchanted. And when her character, I don't want to, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to give anything away, but let's just say that every woman doesn't need a prince. I mean, you want a prince and he's there. It's nice to have him there, but you don't need the brother there. You can do it yourself and figures out a way to do it herself. And this story is a wonderful continuation. You're going to love it. It's a wonderful mother-daughter story. Most of the original cast is back. We have Amy Adams. We have Patrick Dempsey. It's so great. We have Yvette Brown. We have Jim Hayes. And we also have, as a villain, we have Maya Rudolph. And there's nothing like that woman on screen. And for all you Broadway fans, from Avenue Q to M. Butterfly, we have Anne Harada, myself, and Michael McCory Rose from Wicked and
Idina Menzel.
Gentleman's Guide. So this cast is great. I will say Alan Menken is still writing all the music. Stephen Schwartz from Wicked fame is still writing all the lyrics. And Adam Shankman, the man who directed Hairspray, the musical as a film, is directing and choreographing our film. So I will say you're going to have a great time. It's a wonderful family story, but the jokes are there for everybody, from little kids to adults. You're going to have a wonderful time. And I'm telling you, we are having a ball out here, and I swear, if it looks as good as if it looks as good as it is, I think it's gonna look on the screen. I think everybody's gonna have a great time. It's gonna be exclusively on Disney Plus, and trust me, you're going to be enchanted by.
Okay about this?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Green in your teeth.
James, thank you so much. It's so wonderful that you joined us. Please give our best to Dawn, and we look forward to many more opportunities to work together.
Definitely so. Thank you so much. You guys have a great night.
Thank you. All right. Well, all of this would not be made possible, and the reasons that we are here tonight, without our sponsors. So I would like to turn it over to Eileen.
Thank you, William. This year we have our presenting sponsors, Bristol Myers Squibb, our champion sponsors, ADC Therapeutics and Karyopharm Therapeutics. Our MVP sponsor is Beijing, and our Friday Fun Day sponsors that brought to you all the Trivia Friday Fun Days get together this past month is Pharma. Our gold sponsors are AstraZeneca and Takeda Oncology, as well as Pharmacyclics, part of the AbbVie company, and Janssen Oncology, part of the Johnson Johnson Group. And of course, we have Rockler as well. And for our supporters, we have Spire Credit Union, MD Anderson Cancer Center, and our supporter for the Caregiver of the Year recognition, who you'll hear from later today, the Pansky family.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Eileen, Dana, let's go ahead and kick off our first team roll call.
Yes. So tonight, throughout the night, we're going to do a few different team roll calls, and this will give us a chance to meet all of our different teams joining us tonight. We're here because of you all, and we are here for all of you. So our first 5 teams here, these are our top fundraising teams. We wanted to say an extra special thank you. If you see your name on the list, go ahead and take yourself off mute, and we're going to give them each just a quick chance to say hello and share a little bit about their fundraising. And teams, you can keep this brief, just 30 seconds or so is fine. Just let us know what your team is planning. And first, flying high in Dallas, we're going to go to Cindy Doe with Wendy.
Didn't tell it to.
Dana, I'm going to pause you really quick. Can everyone please put themselves on mute unless they're speaking? We have a little...
Just turn yours off.
Yeah, so everyone just needs to go on mute unless.
Okay, I think I figured it out. Okay, awesome. We can move forward. Sorry about that, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Let's get going. Dana, go ahead.
Yes, Cindy, do you want to say hi for Wendy?
Hey everyone, it's so good to be here. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. My name is Cindy Ngo, and I'm representing Wendy's Eagles from Dallas, Texas. If you guys don't know, Dr. Wendy S. Harpham is the founder of Wendy's Eagles, and I kind of like to call her the jack of all trades, masters of all. She is an amazing mother, grandmother, retired internal medicine physician, renowned writer, adjunct professor at UT Dallas, which is where I attend school, and she's also a lymphoma survivor. So I met Wendy my first year of college as a pre-medical student, and she kind of took me under her wing and mentored me, and that's how I got involved with Wendy's Eagles and the Lymphoma Research Foundation. Typically, to fundraise for Wendy's Eagles, we plan something called a color run. So if you're not familiar, it's a 5K route, and at various parts of the route, you get doused with colors while wearing white t-shirts. But unfortunately, COVID threw a wrench in those ideas. Fortunately, we got a little creative, and this year we did a rally on for hope. It's kind of similar to what we did in July with LRF's rally. Dr. Harpham was our keynote speaker, and she did discuss how to find hope during a pandemic, which I thought was really important for the UTD community and just anybody who attended, because I think we could all use a little bit more hope in our lives. And then Wendy's walk, her neighborhood walk, will actually be tomorrow. So we are super excited to kick that off.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cindy. Up next, hats off to Brook Lymphoma JC and Stephen Schwartz.
Hi, everybody. First, let me tell you how the name Brook Lymphoma came around. Well, you know, we did the walk in Brooklyn, and I wanted to come up with a great name for a team, so we came up with Brook Lymphoma. So that passed, and now we moved to Manhattan. Now we're doing virtually, but the JC part of it is an important component because I lost a very dear friend, Jim Capuano, to cancer, and we put the JC on the end of that. But it's important for me to raise the money because of what everybody's done. I really appreciate what Dana has done here, Aileen, William, and Meg. LRF, you know, is just fantastic. So whatever we can do to help support it, and this is my way of trying to give back and get other people to rally around what LRF is all about. And just to dispel anything else, I am not the Broadway Stephen Schwartz. So I know a lot of people want to know that, but it's not me. But thank you, everybody, and really appreciate the work that everybody put in to make this possible tonight.
Thanks, Stephen. Up next, in for the win with the knockouts from Minnesota, Jim.
Thank you, Dana, and everybody else. The knockouts actually started 10 years ago when a young lady, Jessica Deutsch, who was the daughter of my assistant, was diagnosed with lymphoma. And I gave Jessica a bit of a pep talk because everybody, of course, was shocked and they were a little surprised by all of this. And I used the fighting terms with Jessica in a rather little colorful off to the side discussion with her. In fact, I'd gotten a boxing outfit from a boxing store in Las Vegas, and also got her a pendant of a pair of boxing gloves. And told her just, well, very colorfully, which I won't share here, but very colorfully told her to go knock this puppy out, which she did. She went through and she's been in remission now for 10 years. The knockouts has been very well. We have over 30 some members in the team. I'm a team member as well. I'm also not unfortunately, but 4 years after Jessica's diagnosis, I popped up and had the stuff. I am now in my third series of treatments. And anyway, things are still going well. And Jess and I tease about the knockout being the knockouts. Jessica's mother, Teresa, is very involved in the whole thing. And we are having, actually, Teresa and Jessica organized our walk for tomorrow in a park in Oakland, which is in their neighborhood. And then following the walk, we're having a barbecue get together in Teresa's backyard. And that'll wind up the whole thing. And our goal was met this year again. We tried to raise some money, and I think we did fairly well. Thank you all.
Yeah,
Thank
you did
you.
great. Thanks, Jim. Next, we're flying with Team Quite. Fly Karen, Fly Lewis. Would you like to say hi?
Hi, thanks, Dana. My name's Lewis Quite. Captain of Team Quite. This is our fourth walk. My wife passed away about 3.5 years ago, and we've been doing the walk, raising money for the LRF in memory of her. She had Hodgkin's lymphoma back, diagnosed when she was about 20 years old. And I know she was a strong supporter of wanting to make a difference for those, especially in the adolescent side of lymphoma, and making a difference for them. So we are continuing to raise money in memory of her and to support a cause I know was, very strong for her. So we're going to be having a walk next Saturday. We're expecting a pretty good turnout since it's in my home neighborhood. We're going to take the walk that Karen and I had done many, many times over our years here. And many people who couldn't make the trip into the city for the annual walks because they're here on Long Island and it was difficult for them, will be able to join us this time. So it's going to be a great turnout, and it's going to be exciting and happy we've raised a good amount of money. So I'm glad to be a part of it and help out the team, and really looking forward to it.
Thanks, Lewis.
Thank you so much, Lewis. Next, we're going to hear from our Texas champs, Team Tommy and Lee.
Good evening, everyone. I am Lee Olson, and in 1999, my father was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I embarked on a fundraising campaign for him, which then segued into helping start the Dallas LRF walk in 2002 or 2003. And I named it Team Tommy after my brother, who has walked with me in honor of our father, Bob Gasser, all those years, except for this year and last year. And we hope to change that next year. And I want to do a shout out to all the great supporters in Dallas, such as Wendy Harpen with, Wendy's Eagles, the Reardon family, Norma Ialcovo with Team Tenasca. We've had a lot of very, very long-term support, and then a lot of more current supporters. but they have helped make it happen and continue to make it happen all these years. And I have a ton of praise for LRF and all that they have done for patient education and being relentless in trying to find the best science to continue to improve treatments and find a cure. And that's what it's all about.
Well,
Thank you.
thanks, Lee. That's a perfect segue to our next segment. All right. I have the privilege of introducing all of you, or introducing, because most of you know her, to Meg Guillertez, our Chief Executive Officer. She is a force to be reckoned with since 2018, when she first served as the Chief Program and Policy and Communications Officer. In 2014, she became the CEO, where she continued to use that expertise in government relations and healthcare policy. She's a driving force behind our programs, such as the country's only adolescent and young adult lymphoma initiative and the development of the first mobile app for people with lymphoma. During this time of COVID-19, she put LRF at the forefront of gathering information and resources for the lymphoma community. She is fierce, she is fearless, she is someone who makes us all want to do better and work harder. Please welcome Meg Guillertez.
Thank you so much, William. That was very kind. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this evening's event. I love seeing so many longtime supporters and friends and our incredible scientific advisors and grantees. And I also wanted to say to those of you who are attending a walk or a rally for the first time this year, I want to extend a very warm welcome to this extraordinary community. As you'll see throughout tonight's program, this is the most exciting and promising time in the history of the Lymphoma Research Foundation and the field of lymphoma and CLL research. And it has all been made possible because of your generosity. In the past year alone, the Lymphoma Research Foundation has served more than 1 million patients, survivors, and caregivers, and we've been able to fund more than $2 million in life-saving lymphoma research, amidst a pandemic, by the way, that shut down research labs across the country. But as one patient told me, and it's always kind of stuck in the back of my mind during the past year, lymphoma doesn't read the newspapers or stop for a pandemic, making our shared mission to eradicate lymphoma and serve those touched by this disease even more critical. It's also why I know you will join me in recognizing and thanking the scientific and medical leaders with us this evening, whose brilliance and dedication to the LRF mission are bringing us closer to the cure William was talking about. Two of these thought leaders are not only globally recognized experts in the field of lymphoma research and patient care, but also lead LRF's Elite Scientific Advisory Board, or SAB as we call them. For the past 2 years, Dr. Andy Zelenitz, a medical oncologist and medical director of quality informatics at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, has served as chair of the SAB. During this time and under his leadership, we have made significant progress in virtually every facet of our work. We've expanded our scientific mentoring program and several scientific workshops that are intended to foster collaboration. We've established a multi-million-dollar follicular lymphoma initiative and convened the country's very first panel to address COVID vaccination in people with lymphoma. Also joining us is Dr. Sonali Smith, a professor of medicine and the section chief of hematology oncology at the University of Chicago Medicine. After serving as the chair-elect of the SAB for the past 2 years, she will step into the chair role on July 1st of this year, being the very first female scientist to do so in the foundation's history. During her tenure on the SAB, Dr. Smith has been instrumental in expanding our patient education programs all across the United States, establishing mentoring opportunities for early career scientists who want to pursue a career in the field of lymphoma research, and most recently, helping LRF to establish a new health equity initiative to ensure that every patient receives the care and support that they need. So thank you both for everything you do for LRF and the lymphoma and CLL communities, and really patients and families everywhere, including those on our call tonight. So now I'm going to hand the program over to my wonderful colleague, Dana, who's going to lead a discussion with Dr. Zelenitz and Dr. Smith now. But again, I just want to thank you all for being here and everything you do. You've really demonstrated in the past year with your dedication to our mission that we really are stronger together. And I just can't thank you enough.
Thanks, Meg.
Thanks, Meg. So we're so pleased to have Dr. Zelenitz and Dr. Smith with us tonight, and even more excited that they are co-captains of our All-Stars for our Walk On America program. Dr. Zelenitz, we're going to start with you. What would you say are some of the most important accomplishments of your time as chair of the Scientific Advisory Board?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for the honor to be the co-captain with my friend and colleague, Sony Smith. This has been a uniquely challenging term for the LRF, but also for the SAB chair. Process by which we normally are interacting in person. We're trying to forward the science supported by the LRF was radically altered and turned into, just like this walk, a Zoom meeting. But, you know, we actually were able to successfully complete our mission. And probably the single greatest thing that we did is this past year, we funded every single grant that the SAB felt should be funded. This is at a time when our sister organizations had to stop funding. They were not accepting grants. They were not accepting new applications. And thanks to all of your support, all of the supporters of the LRF, we were able to have enough funds to help fill that critical gap and make sure that the best research still got funded. I think some of the other really proud moments are things that Meg already touched on. The inaugural training program, adding to our clinical research training program that adds laboratory scientists. This will help funnel laboratory scientists into careers in lymphoma. This is a critically important initiative, and it's something that I wanted to see happen. And through the efforts of Meg and Ari Melnick and others, it was a major success this year. And then one of the things that happened this year is that we lost far too many patients to COVID-19. The treatments we give are highly effective treatments against lymphoma, but they're also devastating to the immune system. And many of our patients lost their ability to mount immune responses and to fight COVID-19. And understanding how vaccines work and where they fit in our patients, and ensuring that we actually can protect our patients. The initiative of the LRF with members of the SAB and other invited members has been a very important project, which is actually ongoing, and now has the ear of the National Cancer Institute. So we're very excited that this really important work is going to help protect immunocompromised patients, not just with lymphoma, but including those with lymphoma.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Zelenitz. Thanks for taking time to join us tonight. Dr. Smith, let's chat with you a little bit. Obviously, as you step into your new role as SAB chair this summer, your greatest responsibility is to oversee LRF's research enterprise. Can you explain a little bit just why LRF's role in funding research is so important and unique?
Yes, and before I go into that, I just want to echo something that Dr. Zelenit said and what Meg also alluded to, which is the people on this call. I just want to say thank you. The team leaders and the teams you have assembled drive what we can do in terms of the science. And it's so vitally important to have this partnership. I just want to say thank you to all of you. In terms of the SAB, I've got some big shoes to fill going after Dr. Zelenitz. So a lot about everything, but we do have some incredible momentum, and we're able to really fund the most important science that we care about within this field. And although there are other funding sources around the country, such as the National Cancer Institute, really, when we care about lymphoma, this is the place where I think people come to. Certainly times have been tight for national and federal organizations. And as you heard from Dr. Zelenitz, our sister organizations have not fared nearly as well. And just the ability to rely on the funds that are raised by the people on this call to be able to put them to good use is really, really important. So I just thank all of you. I also want to acknowledge that there's a number of my colleagues here on this call are rising stars, and I'm sure they'll get a moment as well. But just want to say that being part of the Scientific Advisory Board and being part of the LRF is one of the most gratifying parts of my career. I get to work with incredible people who are creative and innovative and really, really want to cure this disease.
Thanks, Dr. Smith. And that's a perfect segue to our teams. We're going to do our second team roll call. William's going to flash up a list of team names, and if you see your team named, go ahead and take yourself off mute. Up next, we're going to speak with, we've got our caring and sharing team. We've got Mayo Clinic. Lori, would you like to say hello?
Hi, everyone. So, yeah, so anyway, this is another exciting year for us too. We've been working hard at Mayo to raise money for lymphoma research. I have been a lymphoma nurse for, 39 years now, and it's a huge passion for me. So I know how important this fundraiser is. And so we've done some exciting things this year. We always do a silent auction, but this year we did it virtual and it worked well. And we weren't going to sell t-shirts, but then we decided to at the very end. We had 2 weeks to do that. And then we also sold flowers. So, and then just multiple donations from other people. But this is a very important cause to us in our lymphoma clinic at Mayo Clinic.
Understand. Thanks, Lori. And what Lori's not saying is she's also hosting a large walk tomorrow morning with Mayo Clinic staff and colleagues. So we're really excited to see photos. Moving on next, our top new team, Shoes Hustlers. Leslie, would you like to say hello?
Oh, so I'm Leslie. This is my sister, Melinda. This is our first year doing the walk, doing any kind of fundraising, anything. We actually lost our father to lymphoma just a few months ago, so it's pretty fresh for us. And it was really interesting to see, how little we actually knew about lymphoma and its impact. And so when we lost him, we really wanted to get involved, learn more, educate others, and really see how we could help in making an impact to eradicate as well. So we'll be hosting a walk tomorrow in his name. We actually were strategic in planning the walk on the same day as we're doing his celebration of life. So we were very fortunate to get a lot of participation and just bring awareness to what this is and how many people it truly affects. So we will be participating with everybody tomorrow and looking forward to keeping on going in the future years.
Thanks, Leslie. Send us pictures for tomorrow, please. Next up, we have a crazy good team from Dallas, the Lymphomaniacs, Larry Postel.
Hey, everyone. We're the original Lymphomaniacs. Somebody else somewhere they took the name, but we were the originals, I think. But nevertheless, that doesn't matter. You guys, I can't say enough good things about the LRF and Dana and the team. I'm in contact with Dana a lot, and I appreciate all she does. And I'm in my 9th year of remission, and I love what the LRF does, and I find you all so inspiring. And inspiration is what it's all about, of course. And one of the things I love doing now is mentoring others going through chemo. I have a good friend in Brooklyn who he just finished his chemo, the same, he went through R-CHOP, the same one. It was weird, he had a brain tumor and he was losing his eyesight. And he went to an ophthalmologist and he said, I think you need to get to a hospital immediately. It turned out he had lymphoma that caused the brain tumor. And the doctors at the hospital had never seen that before. But anyway, he went through R-CHOP and some radiation, and the tumor is now gone. He's in remission, and I love talking to him throughout his chemo, and I've done that with a few others, and that's my new mission now, is to inspire others. And like I said, you guys inspire me. And although we're not doing anything formal tomorrow, my team members are incredibly generous, and we more than doubled our goal this year. And so I'm so proud of the Lymphomaniacs for doing that. And next year will be my 10th year in remission, so that'll be a special one. And I sent an invitation to Jeff Bridges to be on my team, but I never heard back. So hopefully he'll join my team once he gets better, because I think he'd be able.
All right. Thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
Let's check in with Peggy's patrol. Stan, I know you're joining us tonight.
Yeah, it's I've
Well, Stan, if you're not here, we can. Okay.
I'm here. I'm here. Can
Go ahead.
Can you not hear me? No sound?
No, you're good. Go on. We can hear you.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Stan,
well, I've been a lymphoma survivor for 27 years, and I'm not Peggy, but Peggy and I work together. We go to the same church, and we have the same cell type, so we're cellmates. And so that's why she's got a catchier name. She's cuter than I am, so everybody donates money because she's so cute. But I got a lot of friends and family that donate also. And one of the things that's highlighted for me is that the LRF reached out to me and asked me if I would be a consumer reviewer for the congressionally directed medical research program that the Army runs. Because I have a medical background. I was a nurse anesthetist, and I'm also a retired lieutenant colonel from the Army. And so I was a consumer reviewer for the applications for cancer research that were put in through the Army. And that was, I was able to enlighten a few people, because a lot of the researchers had never really met a patient. And so I feel like I've represented the LRF well. And it's 27 years, and I'm hoping to have a few more.
We hope so too.
great. Thank you so much, Stan. We appreciate you being here. Let's check in with Jean from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Hello. Greetings from Minnesota. This is our 9th year of walking. I was first diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma back in 2012, so we've been walking since then. and really appreciate all that everyone does in the research and the resources available. And just thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jean. All right, moving on. Let's meet our All-Stars. We're pleased to have so many of you with us tonight. All-Stars, I'm going to introduce you in groups of 3, and we'd like to hear you all let us know what you are most hopeful about in terms of research and what's up next in terms of treatment. First off, we're going to start with Dr. Agrusa, Dr. Brem, and Dr. Cohen. If you 3 can take yourselves off mute. Dr.
My name is I'm Dr. Grusa, Jenny Grusa. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I'm a pediatric oncologist. I do research in pediatric Hodgkin lymphoma, and so what I'm hopeful for is that we can try to find a cure for these patients who have a little bit more trouble being cured from this cancer and who have late toxicities. So we want to try to minimize those, and so that's what my research is focused on.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Moving on, Dr. Brem joins us tonight from UC Irvine.
Yes, and my children are at home right now, so you won't be hearing them at least at this moment. But I've been thinking about this question because we kind of knew it was coming, and there's so much to be excited about right now. And I think that when I take a step back and when I think what are the themes about like some of the great stuff that's happening, I think creativity. I think people are really thinking about interesting ways to try to harness the immune system, really creative ways to put drugs together, to even think about creative ways to maybe cure diseases that we thought we could only maybe put a Band-Aid on and maybe keep in remission but not cure. And so I feel like we're in an era where people are just getting really creative to think about different ways to attack this disease, and it's a really fun time to be part of this. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Dr. Cohen joins us tonight from Emory in Atlanta.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. And I just want to echo what others have said about how much the LRF has done for me in my career and for my patients. And I'm so thankful to be affiliated with the organization and appreciate everyone's efforts to raise these funds that have helped so many investigators identify new treatments. For me, I'm probably most excited. My area of interest is in mantle cell lymphoma, and there's a lot of work being done right now to try to limit the intensity of therapy that we need to offer for patients with mantle cell. This is a disease that often affects older patients, and in the past, the prognosis hadn't been quite so good. And in recent years, largely with more intensive therapies, we were able to improve it. But now, thanks to a lot of work that's been done in recent years, we've identified a number of new therapies that are not nearly as toxic. And it's incredibly exciting to have a patient with mantle cell lymphoma who may not be eligible for some of the more intensive therapies still be able to respond well and feel well and live their life for an extended period of time. So I'm very excited to see where that area of research continues to go in the future. And thanks again.
Thanks, Dr. Cohen. We're going to hear from our next group of All-Stars. Next up, we've got Dr. Lee, Dr. Lynch, and Dr. Strati, and Dr. Thanaraja Singham. If you all go off mute and get ready to go. First up is Dr. Lee from Memorial Sloan Kettering.
Hi, everyone. I'm very excited about our growing knowledge of the biology of lymphoma and the immune response in patients with lymphoma. I think this has led to recent breakthroughs, including novel targeted agents and CAR T-cell therapy. So I'm really hopeful that continued efforts on how to optimize treatments and minimize toxicity will lead to durable responses and ultimately cures for more patients with lymphoma.
Thanks, Dr. Lee. Dr. Lynch joins us tonight from Seattle Cancer Care Alliance.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be echoing a lot of what other people say. I'm very excited about some of the new treatments that we have for lymphomas, but of course being mindful, especially for some of our younger patients, of short and long-term toxicities, and trying to figure out the best way to sequence and optimize these therapies is a big part of what I'm working on and what I think is going to be very exciting about the coming years.
Dr. Strati joins us tonight from MD Anderson in Houston.
Yeah, hello everybody. As you heard, my name is Paulo Strati. I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Lymphoma and Myeloma at MD Anderson in Houston, Texas. My area of research is mostly immunotherapy and cellular therapy for B-cell lymphoma. And what I'm very excited about currently is how powerful laboratory assays we have to better understand the biology of lymphoma and the mechanism of resistance to current treatments for B-cell lymphoma. And those powerful assays allow us to be able to talk more and more about cure for lymphoma as opposed to just like prolongation. And that makes me very excited.
Dr. Thanaraja Singham from Mayo Clinic at Rochester.
Hi, everyone. It's wonderful to see you all. And I do want to thank everybody here who is so involved with fundraising for the LRF. I was one of the LRF Clinical Mentoring Program scholars, and it really got me engaged in lymphoma research. And I have to say, I'm so proud to be part of an organization that really cares not only how long lymphoma patients live, but that they live long, good lives. So, you know, living longer and living better matters. My expertise is how we can minimize toxicity or side effects of treatment and improve the patient experience. And it really says a lot that the LRF is interested in that kind of research. And I think I'll piggyback a little bit on what Dr. Brem said about, you know, there's a lot of creativity going on in basic science and identifying targets in the lab for new treatments, but there's also a lot of creativity going on in helping our patients as people. And I think initiatives like the LRF app are going to be incredibly important. I think efforts towards the adolescent and young adult population and their unique needs are kind of the wave of the future and how we can support you better. We've got a lot of people working on how to help you live longer, and we want people working on how patients can live better. And so I'm really excited that the LRF keeps a really broad focus on all aspects of the patients.
Thanks, Dr. T. So our all-stars are champions every day for patients and families. Tonight, they're champions for Walk on America. Thank you to each of you for being part of this program. I'm going to turn this over to Eileen.
Thank you, Dana. And thank you again to all our All-Star doctors for sharing more information on how our fundraising impacts cancer research. And of course, thank you to everyone here gathering tonight. And for those who weren't able to make it, of course, for your hard work and dedication this year. We know some of you just began your fundraising, but no worries. I'm here to remind you all that we're just starting the celebrations this summer. Our fundraising pages will still remain open throughout the summer for everyone hosting a neighborhood walk gathering. As you've heard tonight, we still have gatherings coming up in the next couple weeks. So if you need any help with your pages in the coming months, let us know and we'll get you all set up. And for those of you hosting your event this weekend, please share photos with us on social media or email them over at teamlrf@lymphoma.org. We'd love to share how the lymphoma community continues to walk on this year on with the rest of the community. So yeah, please share.
Thanks, Eileen. One of the best parts of our in-person lymphoma walks is our survivor tent, which allows recently diagnosed patients and families to interact and meet with others who have been through it before. It's always a really special part of our events, and so tonight we're excited to feature a virtual version of our survivor tent. We'll check in with Stephen Schwartz, who joins us as tonight's survivor tent host. But first of all, the tent wouldn't be possible without our survivor tent sponsor, Spire Credit Union. So it's my pleasure to share a special message from Spire's CEO, and then we'll turn it over to Stephen. With that, welcome to the Survivor Tent.
Hi, Dan Stoltz here with Spire Credit Union. On behalf of Spire, thank you for walking on to help cure lymphoma. You know, it's our pleasure to be the Survivor Tent sponsor for the second year in a row. You know, our core value at Spire is very simple. It's we care. We're here for you, and so is LRF. You know, LRF has some great resources, so let's learn about them right now.
Stephen.
Hi, everybody. My name is Stephen Schwartz, and I am happy to be joining you as the host of tonight's annual virtual Survivor Tent, as you can see behind me. In the fall of 1998, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin lymphoma, and I am forever grateful that LRF was there for me, my family, like it is today for so many people. And we've heard so much today from what it's meant to a lot of the people doing the walk. Tonight, I want to highlight a few of LRF's many resources, and there are many. Let's talk about LRF's support network. What the support network does matches survivors or caregivers with someone who's been through a similar situation. I forget, somebody before talked about cellmates. Maybe that was Paul. You can ask to be matched with someone who has had the same diagnosis as you. Survivors can join and serve as mentors. And if you're navigating a new diagnosis, you can join and be matched with someone who's been through it before. You're not alone in this. There's somebody who's gone through what you have gone through. It's great because you can participate either as a caregiver or a patient. LRF's hotline is just incredible. You can call anytime and speak to LRF's lymphoma experts. They can answer questions, whether it's about clinical trials, financial aid, COVID, questions about diagnosis, or anything lymphoma related. There are many, many things that are available. The resources are just incredible. So I suggest everybody, if you haven't, and I'm sure everybody here has, visit the Lymphoma Research Foundation website at lymphoma.org, and you'll really learn about everything that is available from a resource perspective. As a survivor, one of the most important things, as I said before, is that you are not alone. For me, it was critical to connect with LRF when I was diagnosed. LRF helped guide me when I was really unsure of what I needed and what was going to happen. Today, my connection is different. I support LRF so that it can continue to help other patients and caregivers and to ultimately achieve its mission of eradicating lymphoma. On a personal note, I thanked everybody from LRF, but all the all-stars that are here, the doctors, the nurses, everybody that has made a difference and chosen lymphoma as your careers, I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for allowing me this time, and I'll see you next year in person, I promise, at the Survivor Tent. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. We're going to check in with another round of teams. So teams, get ready to unmute yourself if you see your name here. Up next, the doctor is way in with the team Strati. Dr. Strati.
Oh, well, I was not expecting that. As I anticipated via email, I really like to win, so I'm glad we are doing so well. We are going to have with some friends, some Italian friends and some non-Italian friends, our walk tomorrow afternoon, and we'll send you pictures.
Cool. Thanks, Dr. Strati. Up next, Family Matters with Team CUNY, joining us while they are on vacation, but they are from Nebraska.
Hi there. Thank you so much for having us. We're Team CUNY. We're currently in Clearwater, Florida, vacation. And we started with LRF in 2011, actually when we were pregnant with this one. My husband was diagnosed in 2010, and we have had a team ever since. He's been treated twice for it, again in 2014. Still doing well, but we are really grateful. And we have reached out to our family and friends. This year, though, my daughters got involved, and they hosted a very successful neighborhood lemonade stand in honor of their dad. So we're really grateful, and we will be flying into Kansas City tomorrow to be with my family, and we'll be walking with my family this year in Kansas City.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. Up next, going the distance in Minneapolis with Team BMS Minneapolis. Julie.
Hi. I'm Julie West with Team BMS in Minneapolis, and we're doing our neighborhood walk on Monday night and picked a central location. So we're walking at around Lake Nokomis in Minneapolis. And we're doing it for all of the patients that were mentioned tonight and talked tonight, Dawn, Stan, all of you. I'm very passionate about research with my 30 years of oncology nursing, and that's why we are doing this, to support all of you. And so grateful for the physicians that are doing the research and for LRF. So walk on, America.
Thanks, Julie. Up next, investing in research in New York, we have Lisa joining us with Team Lady Trader. Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lady Trader. This is my husband, David. We're happy to be doing a walk again this year. This will be our third walk. I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2017, so I'm a little under 4 years remission and doing well. And so we're so happy to be participating, and LRF is just so important. It's been important for me and David, and I know it's important for so many other people. So we're happy to be doing our walk tomorrow in our neighborhood, and we're hoping that we can get back next year to do the walk in the beautiful Hudson River Park like we've done the last 2 years. So hope everybody has a great weekend. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks for joining us. Up next, supporting research with Team Pharmacyclics and Janssen, Meredith.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Meredith Liberto, and I'm the proud captain for the Pharmacyclics Janssen Oncology team. And so, as I mentioned, this year, my residential neighborhood has expanded from Western Massachusetts to across the country, where many of my colleagues this weekend will be walking to raise awareness about lymphoma. And so I'm already starting to get lots of selfies and pictures. We have Georgia, Florida, New Jersey, as well as Rhode Island that are completing their walks as we speak or earlier this evening. So just want to say thank you. And again, we are such proud partners and supporters of the Lymphoma Research Foundation.
Thanks, Meredith. So thanks to all of your team's hard work, we are close to raising $300,000. Thanks to all of you. We are likely to hit 350,000. So keep it going. We need all of your help to make that possible. All of your fundraising makes LRF's work possible. It helps with our path ahead. And we're excited to share a special message with each of you, showing just the impact that your fundraising and your walk teams really make.
Lymphoma Research Foundation has been a part of my career really from the start. I was able to participate in the inaugural clinical research mentorship program in 2014, and that really was a jumpstart for my career, both from the standpoint of developing collaborations with other investigators across the country, developing good close friendships with peers as well as with senior investigators, and really honing my skills in the clinical investigation of lymphoma.
One of the most important aspects of the Lymphoma Research Foundation is its support of young investigators and the development of new careers in lymphoma research.
My participation in the LRF mentoring program really augmented my research because it was like a boot camp run by experts in how to execute and implement good research in lymphoma.
While I was at the Clinical Research Mentorship Program, I had the opportunity to work with colleagues who helped me come up with the subsequent trial, which used this new therapy called ixazomib with a currently available therapy for mantle cell lymphoma called ibrutinib. But these are two clinical trials evaluating novel approaches that were made possible in large part through the resources of the LRF.
When we look at the field today, many of the leading investigators got their initial support from the LRF. We select the very best to lead to the best science, the most advances in the field, and hopefully capture the imagination of young investigators and retain them into the field of research for lymphoma.
The LRF supports patients, education materials, symposia, support groups, but it also vitally supports researchers to advance the science, not only for the patients of today, but of tomorrow as well.
We're going to check in with a few more teams. Teams, get ready to take yourself off mute. When you see the sign pop up here, just get ready to go. We've got 3 teams coming up. And if your team, if you're joining us tonight, but you didn't RSVP, we'd like you to say hello as well. So let's start with an amazing team in Dallas, Team John Ross.
Hi, I'm John. 2 years of patient. I've been clean 7 years now. We're walking on Sunday. Thank you so much, everybody, for everything that you do. Y'all save lives and change lives.
Great. And with a terrific tally, we have 23 years since diagnosis, Team 23 and counting, represented with their granddaughter tonight, I believe. You guys here?
Hi.
Did you mute? Yeah.
Hi, my name is.
That's not. There we go.
There you guys go.
Sorry about that. My fault.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Nasa and I'm 12 years old. I am walking from my Papa Bob. Our team is 23 and counting. It has been 23 years since my Papa Bob was diagnosed, and I have been doing the lymphoma walk every year since I was born. We will miss walking around Lake Nokomis this year, but we will be doing a family walk around our neighborhood in Faribault. Walk on, America.
Nasa, thank you so much for joining us and for representing your grandparents. Our next team all together now, United Against Cancer, DAR.
Hi there, I'm Dar Nati. This is my fiance, Emily. We are grateful for all the support that we've been getting from the LRF. I am a 5-year survivor. This will be my 5th year. So it's been great. We've participated in the walks in the past and are excited to actually do a walk shortly here in our neighborhood with some friends, just kind of passing out some information and, you know, creating awareness. So thank you all for all the great work that you guys have done and all the support that you've given us. It's been amazing.
Thanks, Dar and Emily. Great to have you guys join us. Howard and Gail, I saw you were on. Do you want to say hi?
Good evening, everyone. I am with Team Poppy Allen. That was my dad, 2009. He was diagnosed and told by the oncology group that he'd be lucky to live 6 months. He was 81 years old. He lived 1.5 years. And I think from my limited knowledge now that I hear through all of the doctors, things were just even exploding at that time with new opportunities, new aggressive drugs. And his quality of life was pretty good for that 1.5 years. And I just thank all the staff here that does their work in the fundraising side of things. The doctors do their work, but without you guys, all this wouldn't be possible. So I thank Dana, Eileen, and William for your leadership.
Thanks, Howard. Anyone else tonight? We have such a great turnout. Is there anyone else who would like to say hello? Now is your chance. All right, we'll keep the chat open too, but I'm going to turn it back to William to say thank you to a sponsor.
Great. Well, one of our sponsors has a special message for us, so I am pleased to welcome Chris Martin.
Hello, I'm Chris Martin, the CEO of ADC Therapeutics. We at ADC Therapeutics are proud to be supporting Lymphoma Research Foundation's Walk on America event this year. We're particularly excited because we've just received accelerated approval for our first therapeutic in diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. And everything we do as a company is about improving therapeutic options for patients and their families. So you must know that this year, as you walk on, we're walking on right there beside you.
Excellent. Again, thank you to all of our sponsors who have made tonight possible. They are matching almost dollar for dollar what we're raising this year, and we greatly appreciate it. We had asked all of you throughout the planning of the walks this year if anybody had or would like to nominate someone for our caregiver spotlight. And Team LRF is pleased to introduce the Lee Grubman Caregiver Spotlight, generously funded by the Pansky family in celebration of Lee's life. This honor recognizes and thanks caregivers who have gone above and beyond, which is an apt description for those who will be shining a light on tonight. Lee Grubman was a lifelong friend of the Pansky family, and upon his passing earlier this year, they endowed this award in his honor. We'd like to welcome Lee's family who have joined us tonight, his wife Shelley and his children Molly and Julian. And joining us now to say a few words about Lee is his friend and our friend, a member of our board, Scott Pansky.
Thanks, William. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. I am so motivated by all of your stories. They are all so incredible. And I've been involved with LRF for the last 9 years and helping to work with the ambassadors of the organization. And it was my honor to join the board this year. I hadn't faced cancer really directly during this time frame. And I'd been on the board maybe 2 months when we got a phone call from Lee's wife, Shelley, letting us know that he was in the hospital. We spent 18 years together raising our kids, having dinners every Friday night for so long. And Lee and I had the chance to travel internationally together and really just do everything from sports and exercise to just quality time with our families. And he was there with Shelley for the birth of our youngest daughter and was there to help our oldest when she was learning how to make friends. And when I heard about the caregiver opportunity, there's nobody that had a bigger heart and a bigger soul than Lee. Lee stood good 6'3", 6'4". He was a tall man, but had a heart of a teddy bear. And we wanted to honor him and his family with this caregiver award. And it's our pleasure to keep his memory alive over the next few years or so through you and all the hard work that you're all doing and other caregivers around the country. So I just want to say thank you for everything you're all doing. It's our pleasure to be a sponsor of this award. The Lee Grubman Award means a lot to our family. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott, to you and your family, and to the Grubman family who's joining us here tonight. This year, the first nomination that we received was for a nurse who had cared for someone who had recently gone through a difficult treatment. And upon further reflection and talking to some of the other people, Team LRF decided to expand upon that beautiful thought. And tonight we are pleased to shine a spotlight on the many nurses who have been involved with Team LRF and the lymphoma community. again, thank you to all the nurses. You saw a lot of those photographs that were up there were from nurses who have been at the walks. You met Lori Drips earlier. Her photograph was up there several times doing all that wonderful work at Mayo Clinic. So again, thank you to the Pansky family for honoring their friend, Lee Grubman. Lee will be, the Lee Grubman Caregiver Spotlight will take place in our Chicago walk, our Arizona walk, and also our research ride over the next several years. Thank you so much. And we're coming to the end of our program. We're just about right on time. And you know, LRF's programs like our Ask the Doctor series, our lymphoma specific workshops, webinars, our fact sheets, our guides are all made possible in part by the generosity of you, your walk teammates, and all of your donors. One of the things we wanted to make sure that everyone had on their calendar was our educational forum. Eileen, you want to talk about that?
Yep, of course, William. Thank you. Excuse me. This year, our 26th annual Educational Forum on Lymphoma will take place from October 15th through the 17th. And in response to the continuing COVID-19 pandemic and to protect the health of our community, the foundation, with the guidance of our scientific advisory board, have decided to host our educational forum on a digital platform this year again. The conference will highlights will include some expert speaking faculty, so you'll be able to hear a variety of presentations and have your questions answered about your specific subtype of lymphoma. We'll also have disease and treatment specific information, so there'll be comprehensive breakout sessions on those that review disease biology, novel agents, and target therapies and the latest treatment options. There'll also be, just in general, research updates as well, where you'll learn about recent developments within lymphoma and chronic lymphatic leukemia research as well. And finally, we'll have our virtual networking opportunities where people will be able to meet with each other that have the same type of lymphoma, subtype of lymphoma, and exchange ideas and experience within each other. So it'll be a big all networking event for the whole lymphoma community. So we hope you can make one of the days or a couple hours for this session later this year. William, back to you for our final concluding remarks.
All right, again, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. As we get ready to wrap up, we're looking forward to everybody sharing their photographs of all of their events, whether they're this weekend, next week, or throughout the summer. We also want to say thank you to our ambassadors, Dawn and James Monroe Eigelhart. We hope to have some more fun news to let everybody know about another project that James has percolating in the back of his head. Also, we couldn't do this without all of these amazing sponsors. Our presenting sponsor, Bristol Myers Squibb, ADC, Karyopharm, Beijing, Pharma, AstraZeneca, Takeda, Pharmacyclics, and AbbVie Company, Jensen Oncology, part of the Johnson & Johnson Group, Rothler, Spire, MD Anderson Cancer Center, and of course, the Pansky family. Our fundraising pages are going to be open all summer long, so people can continue to contribute to your teams. And again, share with us how you decide to celebrate at Lymphoma Community on Facebook, at Lymphoma on Twitter. Send us photographs or video to teamlrf@lymphoma.org and on Instagram at Lymphoma Community. That wraps it up for all of us tonight. Again, thank you to all of our amazing doctors for taking the time. They gave a lot of energy to us this year. Each doctor did the kickoffs in their individual markets, as well as came together for a VIP event that we did several weeks ago. And again tonight, we know it's a lot of time. It's a lot of extra things to put on you and your family, but it's greatly appreciated by us, and I know by everybody else who was able to hear you speak. We're going to go ahead and sign off. Dana, myself, Eileen are going to stay on. If anybody would like to just stay on to ask us questions, you're more than welcome to do so. Again, thank you. We're so looking forward to being back together next year in all of our different markets. and offering an opportunity around the country for people to continue to do their own walks in places that we don't have our marquee events. So thank you very, very much for joining us tonight.